And earlier this week, Lauren Ashburn spoke with author Brooks, a prominent social scientist and musician. Brooks is open about his Catholic faith and his deep commitment as a conservative to the poor. He says Catholics should ask themselves every day what they can do for those in need.
The examination of conscience for the, I'm going on a limb here, for the capitalist Catholic is, did my capitalism today serve the people at the margins of society?
Do you really
or not?
believe that? Do you really believe that that's what capitalist Catholics believe?
I believe that that's what capitalist Catholics
Should believe.
And there are days when I don't think about the poor, when I don't think about the unemployed, when I don't think about the marginalized and the depressed and the people who are poor in all sorts of different ways enough. But I want to think about them more, and I want to use everything at my disposal, the tools that I've got, which in America is, you know, leadership and strength and free enterprise and all the reasons that our families came here in the first place for the people who needed the most.
Back to Trump.
Yeah.
He does not want to touch entitlements, and that money is something that could be used, the interest alone that we're paying on that could be used to help the poor.
There are two things to keep in mind. Number one is the safety net is very, very important, and I would actually urge all of my Catholic friends and brothers and sisters to regret anything that slashes safety nets. However, we've been doing safety nets wrong for generations
And
by
why?
making people dependent. The philosophy behind it, as we've spent $20 trillion since the beginning of the war on poverty in the 60s, was let's help people more. That's the wrong approach. I want to help people, but what we need to say is more people need to be needed, not more people need to be helped. And that means more opportunity, and the great society has not been very good for opportunity. So that's domestic discretionary spending. You're talking about with the president on entitlements, that's what are we doing that's going to affect future generations? And that's a serious business. Look, it will grow to start to threaten safety nets, to be sure. But the biggest problem that we have is the fairness with which we're treating future generations. Those are our kids and those are our grandkids, and we have a moral obligation to make sure that we're not crowding out their prosperity and their ability to earn their success. What I'm suggesting is that the administration needs to rethink its commitment not to touch entitlements.
Why?
It's very important that we reform entitlement programs because it's not fair what that's going to do to future generations in this country. The greatest threat that we have to the fiscal solvency, the integrity of this country to continue to be able to provide the services that we think are really important, but more importantly, to be able to provide the opportunity to future generations requires that we not run out of money. We need to look at entitlement programs and have plausible, good, sane reforms. And the best person who's looking at this today is our fellow Catholic, Paul Ryan.
But it's not President Trump, and President Trump right now is the one who is calling the shots on all of this.
True.
So how are you, as a person, as an organization, to make change?
My colleagues and I are dedicated to the competition of ideas and making suggestions that work for the American people and indeed for people all around the world. So we don't have the ability to say legislation is going to change. I mean, we're not a political organization. People watching us, some of them are really like President Trump and some of them really don't like President Trump, but we get one president at a time. and our job is to help the president be as successful as possible, and I think that reconsidering some of these ideas will make this administration more successful.
Arthur Brooks, President of AEI, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.